You should be grateful that I'm here right now because I missed the last pay-per-view and ended up cursing the whole entire card and ruining the whole main event. Luckily, though, I'm here to break down UFC 322 and make sure that the main event doesn't get cursed because of an absence of a BunkyMMA video. I'm so sorry for what I did to the Tom Aspinall Surreal Gone main event. We are going to be just fine for Islam Makhachev trying to get that double champ status, moving up to welterweight to take on Jack Della Maddalena. We are about to eat this weekend, and we are about to eat good. I mean, the prelims, the main card, everything about this is stacked. I mean, the prelims have Bo Nickel on it, Aaron Blanchfield, Malcolm Wellmaker, Anyway, kicking off the main card of UFC 322, we have Beniel Dariush taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. This one's going to be pretty quick for me. I'm picking Benoit Saint-Denis. The last Beniel Dariush fight I broke down on this channel, if you all remember, was Beniel Dariush versus... Oh my... What the fuck? Anyway. Hello? Anyway. Oh my god! I just got 3 pop... I think I have a virus. I have to have a virus on this thing. What was that? Anyway, what I was saying is the last time I broke down a Beniel Dariush fight was that fight against Renato Moicano. And if you watched my post... reaction to that fight, I matched Beniel Dariush up with a Roth IRA for his next fight. I've seen enough of him. I've seen it. Listen, I love Benny. He gave us the KO that gave us the infamous UFC meme. You know, the one of Joe Rogan. He'll always have this. He'll always have this. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with Benoit Saint-Denis here. I know we've got 13 moving up to 9, but Benoit Saint-Denis is only a -180 favorite. Maybe I'm sleeping, and Beniel Dariush is going to be like matching me up with a Roth IRA. What are you thinking? I've got a third prime coming in, but I've got Benoit Saint-Denis going out there and finishing Beniel Dariush. I feel like Beniel Dariush looks really good early always, but I see him slowing down in the second round with the pressure. I bet we see a lot of grappling from Benoit Saint-Denis early in the first round, and I think he'll be able to TKO Dariush in the second. So I really like Benoit Saint-Denis by finish here. Moving up the card, we got Leon Edwards taking on Carlos Prates. Like I said, guys, we're going to be fed on Saturday. This is the second fight on the main card, and it's Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. I mean, this is easily a main event at a fight night. I'm glad we finally have stacked pay-per-views and not just stacked main events. Stacked main events are cool. Stacked main events are awesome. But having stacked pay-per-views top to bottom, I mean, this one from the prelims all the way to the main card, I mean, thank you. Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Carlos Prates, man, -175 against Leon Edwards. Are we sleeping? Are we sleeping on Leon Edwards? Leon Edwards plus 145? Leon Edwards underdog against Carlos Prates? Are we sleeping on Leon? I am. And I'm not waking up anytime soon. Give me Carlos Prates to get out there and knock the fuck out. I think it's awesome that Leon Edwards is finally getting a striker again after the Usman fight, the Sean Brady ass whooping. I think he's finally getting a stylistic banger. With that being said, I do think we're sleeping on Leon in the sense that I see a lot of people saying that Carlos Prates is going to go out there and finish Leon Edwards, which I don't necessarily think is the worst take in the whole entire world, but I do think in that sense we're sleeping on Leon a little bit. Yes, I'm definitely leaning Carlos Prates here. I think Carlos Prates is going to get the win. I mean, that's my official pick. I don't think he's going to go out there and knock out Leon Edwards like a lot of people are saying, right? Give me Carlos Prates by decision. I'm feeling dangerous. Give me Carlos Prates by split decision this weekend. Close one. Close banger. The BunkyMMA take. We're looking at fight of the night right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Brady, dog. By no means does Sean Brady have to take this fight. If Sean Brady wanted to sit around and pull a Justin Gaethje and be a little bitch and say, I'm not fighting until you give me a title shot. I'm going to retire. If instead of doing that, he said, yeah, fuck it. Give me 18-0 Michael Morales. Okay, let's see what you're working with, Sean Brady. I think this is going to be a banger fight. Sean Brady coming in as the favorite, taking a fight he really doesn't have to against an 18-0 Michael Morales. We got 18-0 versus 18-1, man. And we just saw Sean Brady take on Leon Edwards, who's also a 6-foot welterweight, right? Very, very similar builds to Michael Morales, right? So I have every reason to think that Sean Brady's going to get out there and beat Michael Morales in a similar fashion that he beat Leon Edwards, And that's it. There's no crazy curveball coming here. I genuinely think Sean Brady's going to get out there, and I think he's going to beat Michael Morales and really solidify, hey, I'm next for this welterweight title. I'm next to fight whoever wins between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. I'm next. So big on Sean Brady for taking this fight. I'm going to pick Sean Brady to win this fight. And here it is, the co-main of UFC 322. Valentina Shevchenko taking on Zhang Weili, coming up to flyweight in an attempt to become a double champ. In my opinion, I think we're looking at the best, most skilled women's MMA fight of all time. Yes, I know Shevchenko fought Amanda Nunes. Yes, I know Shevchenko fought Amanda Nunes multiple times, actually. Listen, I think the jokes are funny. Oh, this pay-per-view has a built-in bathroom break. But if you're not glued to your screen for Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili, I'm not convinced that you're a fan of the sport. That's just what it is. With that being said, it's minus 128 Shevchenko, slight favored. Zhang Weili, minus 114. We've got a pick 'em with slight odds leaning towards Shevchenko. And if you've been watching the BunkyMMA channel for a bit, you know how I feel about Valentina Shevchenko. I think she's the greatest women's mixed martial artist of all time. I think she's going to go out there and prove that this weekend by finishing Zhang Weili. Yes. I think Valentina Shevchenko is going to show levels and finish Zhang Weili. By no means do I think that Zhang Weili is any degree of a slouch. I think Valentina Shevchenko is that good, and I think Valentina Shevchenko is that underrated. I see her going out there and finishing Zhang Weili late in the fourth round by submission at that. Zhang Weili is just so much stronger than every single opponent she ends up fighting at strawweight. I don't think there is a strawweight that gives Zhang Weili a run for her money. But Valentina Shevchenko looks stronger than every flyweight she's in there with. And Zhang Weili is going to her dance. I'm riding with Shevchenko here. I'm riding with Shevchenko by finish. And after this weekend, the common take is going to be that Valentina Shevchenko is the greatest women's mixed martial artist of all time. And you're going to see a lot of people bringing back up that Amanda Nunes fight. Maybe really start having that conversation, rewatching that fight once that GWOAT conversation begins. And I think people might begin to notice Shevchenko maybe won rounds 2, 3, and 4. You know, maybe she did. That's what I think. I think she won that second fight against Amanda, but she didn't. She did not. So I do think Amanda Nunes truthers are going to continue to talk their stuff as they should. But I know what I'm going to be saying after this weekend. I know exactly what I'm going to be saying. The main event of the evening, UFC 322, is going to cap off with a super fight. The former UFC lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev, is moving up to 170 in an attempt to prove that he is double champ. An attempt to prove that Islam Makhachev is pound for pound number one. This line's really interesting to me. Islam Makhachev minus 285 to JDM's plus 230. I don't think Islam Makhachev is just going to run through JDM like he does everyone else. One of the core reasons behind that is because I think that Belal Muhammad is the perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev. I know the easy thing to do is to shit on Belal Muhammad. I mean, I've done it all the time, right? But his ties with Khabib and Islam and them, right? Navigating through that same sort of style. He's kind of like the iPhone 5C version of a Dagestani, you know. Islam Makhachev's like the new iPhone 17, you know. For Belal Muhammad, you have to run a mile. For Islam Makhachev, it's a triathlon. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, before you complete a triathlon, you got to run that mile, right? So I think JDM is getting very, very disrespected by this line. And the reason I'm talking about him being disrespected by the line's a little, you know, I should just go out there up front and say JDM's going to win. But I think Islam Makhachev is so good, dude. I think he's so good. I think he's just a better version of Khabib, which is the easy take to have. But he's a better striker than Khabib, right? Khabib may be a better wrestler, but I think Islam has better submissions. Islam's going out there and finishing people in a way Khabib couldn't, right? I think we're looking at someone who's going to be in future GOAT conversations. I think deep down he already is, right? But after this weekend, when he gets that double champ status, and we can finally start envisioning that super fight between him and Ilia Topuria, if you really think about it, they're fighting for who the new gen GOAT is going to be, right? The GOAT conversation is never going to be solidified. There's never going to be a concurrent right answer. But for all the new UFC fans that are kind of getting into the sport at this time, for them, Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria is who's going to be the GOAT of this generation of fighters. And I think step one of that is getting Islam Makhachev through Jack Della Maddalena. But I respect the shit out of JDM. Islam Makhachev is not going to go in there and look like a minus 300 favorite. That's ridiculous. It's going to go to decision. And we're going to see that JDM has some of, if not the best boxing in the UFC. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous if you don't have him in your top 3, right? I saw Dustin take some rounds off of Islam, man, and I see JDM doing the same. But at the end of the day, I see Islam Makhachev getting his hand raised.
I have an unhealthy obsession with spending money, but I have a healthy obsession with making it.
You know what time it is? I throw you a bunky bet, a little parlay I've cooked up for the card this weekend. Feel free to follow it. Bam. There it is, the bunky bet. I am taking Benoit, Saint-Denis, minus 180. Edwards, Prates to go to the distance at minus 110. And then Valentina Shevchenko to defeat Zhang Weili. We've got a plus 429 three-legger for this weekend. I will see you guys Saturday night to break down what we just saw right after the pay-per-view to talk about UFC 322. I'm super excited. We've got a great night of fights on our hands. It's going to be awesome. See you then.